welcome to the breakdown, the final segment for the year 2018. We've come to the end of the first round of the Dialogue Rugby League, and what a round it's been. The final weekend of matches proving ultimate in that context as well. It's an outstanding weekend of rugby. We had an upset, we had a draw, we had lots of stuff going on. So let's have a talk about that weekend. The results from the final weekend of the first round of DRL, we had Army taking on Sia, and that match was at Ratmalana, and it was a tale of two halves really, but it was probably our first draw of the season 24 all, Army taking on CRNFC. Air Force took on Havelocks as well, and that game was really close. Everyone expected Havelocks to win this one easy, but 3 tries from Air Force made sure that they took Havelocks right down to the wire. Another really close game, CHNFC taking on Police Sports Club, and Police going into the lead there, but then CHNFC going into an early lead. 24 points they put on in the first half, but Police coming straight back into that game, and unfortunately for them, Johan Pires, who has been so good, missed a kick that would have given them the lead. Navy taking on Kandy, what a game that was as well. Kandy never good when they're travelling to Valisara. It's not the favourite place for them to tour, and it was a game that could have been pulled off by Navy. 2019 in the 81st minute in favour of the hosts, but Thirina Vijayasinghe putting over a kick in the final minute of the game. 22 points to 20. Sean Vijayasinghe leaves unbeaten this season so far. Let's look at our first match for this weekend. We had Army taking on Sia, and Army looked like they're going to really up a notch when they take on those Maitland Place clubs or the Longden Place clubs, the Colombo 7 clubs, if I can call them that, because they've already beaten CHNFC this season and really took Sia down to the wire. Sia could have won it in the last moment, but Tarinder Ratwata not having his best day with the boots, and when he was off for 10 minutes as well, that's when Sia lost their way a little bit. They're becoming solely dependent on Ratwata having a good game, and that's not a good sign for the coaches, because if he gets injured or he has to go off or he needs a rest for some reason, then they really need to have a second string halfback combination that can pull them through in some of these close games. But Army really coming back into that game well after Sia had started brightly, and their forwards really doing what was expected of them, moving the ball just wide enough for Sia's defense to get caught unawares, and then shifting it wide as well. The first try from Sudaraka Dikkumara, one of the tries that I think Vaipa Gunaratha will be very proud of from his team. The first draw of the season, 24 all on. Credit to Army for holding Sia off on the day. Let's take a look at the next game, Navy versus Kandy, and it was surprising that we had Danushka Ranjan and Buoneka Udankamo, who had been two of the stars in the opening 6 games for Kandy, who were rested, but despite that, Kandy managed to come through and win this game in the dying moments. So it's really important for Kandy to realize that their bench strength can also come and win games, win tight games as well, without two of the guys who had performed the best so far. Chatura Senivaratne played at wing for Navy, and he was good with his boot, also with his defense, and that was what kept Navy really in the game, and it was really very close thing. 20 points to 19 with Navy leading in the final minute, gave away a penalty, and Thirina Vijayasinghe, who has been the most accurate kicker in the first round so far, he stepped up and did the business. A heartbreaking loss for Navy, 22 points to 20, and Sean Vijayasinghe keeps his record intact so far in 2018, and we bid him adieu. He's off to Canada, so I think Kandy fans will miss him a lot. Looking at the stats for this Dialogue Rugby League first round, brought to you of course by stats.thepapare.com. Let's look at the leaderboard for you. Kandy sitting pretty once again, the only unbeaten team rather, in that Dialogue Rugby League first round. 41 points. They're 7 clear of Havelocks in second place, who have lost just the 1 game, and that was to Kandy. CRNFC clawing back their position to number 3. They're well behind though, 15 points behind Kandy, and they are 8 points behind the second place team as well. So lots of catching up for them to do. Hot on the heels of Sia, Navy, 21 points. They've played really well, and even the matches they've lost, they've managed to pick up losing bonus points. So they, along with Kandy, have 6 bonus points, which has held them in good stead, brought them up to number 4. Look for them to maybe create a few upsets in that top 4, because that's what it all comes down to, this top 4 and how well they do against each other. So Navy will be a team that's definitely in in the running. CHNFC, despite that last win over Police, not able to leapfrog Navy into that 4th position. So they finished 5th at the end of the first round. Police, Army and Air Force bringing up the rear as well. Both Police and Army can count themselves unlucky because they've had some really outstanding performances in losing causes. So that's the way the leaderboard looks at the end of the Dialogue Rugby League first round. We'll look to the second round in the new year. Our top point scorers and try scorers. In our try scoring category, the 2 men who were rested for Kandy this weekend, Buaneka Udangamua and Dhanushka Ranchan, tied at 6 tries apiece. And our top point scorers, Tharinda Ratwatha, despite having an off day against Army, has racked up 90 points, and that's a superb performance for just the first round. And Samuel Madhuwanta also, who starred in that win for CH, 76 points he has scored, although Thilina Vijayasinghe has been percentage-wise the most accurate kicker of the first round.
Live scores දැනගන්න ThePapare.com වෙත පිවිසෙන්න.
Answer our weekly trivia question and win yourself a Sri Lanka Rugby replica jersey. Last week we asked you, when did Kandy Sports Club first win their Rugby League title? And the answer was in 1994. They won their first trophy, which was the Clifford Cup, in 1992, and they had to wait 2 years to win their first Rugby League, which was in 94. Congratulations to Chandana Samaratunga, who answered it on YouTube. Well, that brings us to the end of the breakdown segments for the year 2018. We'll look forward to seeing you with the second round games in action in the new year as well. So everyone's been fighting to get into the top 4. And at the end of the first round, we have Kandy, Havelock, CRNFC and Navy who will battle it out for that all-important Dialogue Rugby League title. But we've seen some fantastic games in the first round, and we're looking forward to some even better action in the second round as well. Join us on ThePapare.com in 2019. Have a great new year.